How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Ganji. Welcome to another episode of On the Line. Hey guys, this is just some quick advice. We should never be dependent on an inmate. We should never be put in a position where we're reliant on that inmate. Reason being is, when we put ourselves in a position to be dependent on the inmate, we lose our level of authority and we hand it over to the inmate. Now, sometimes that happens without us realizing it. Sometimes, again, we have facilities that are ran on inmate labor, and you have good inmates that just are good at their job. They know what it is. They know how to get the job done, and we become very dependent on the work that they provide. Let's say you have a maintenance inmate who's just good at plumbing, or you could have some officers that when they have concerns with running a unit, instead of going to their peers or supervisors for help, they go to the pod boss. And then they kind of give that level of authority that they have over to the pod boss who regulates stuff. That level of dependency, that level of reliance gives over your level of authority to that inmate. Puts the inmate on a pedestal in which they can take advantage of. You never want to put yourself in a position where you owe the inmate. It's an easy access to your level of authority that you are giving to them. And it's just something that we need to avoid at all costs. I mean, think about it. When you go to write that inmate up and all of a sudden you're hesitant, you're like, well, if I write this inmate up, I'm not going to have a plumber. Or if I write this inmate up, I'm going to have trouble running this housing unit. That inmate has put themselves in that high level so they can protect themselves and take advantage of you. We also have to be careful how we praise them when they do a job well done. You don't want to say thank you because if it wasn't for you, or if you weren't available, I don't know what I would do. You don't want to say these things to these inmates, because if you do, that shows the inmate that they're in a very powerful position. It actually gives them the ability to negotiate, technically. So this is just food for thought. I want you guys to realize that being reliant or being dependent on an inmate is actually just giving over your power to that inmate. And what's going to wind up happening is that since you lose that sense of authority, you're going to have trouble gaining it back. You're in a position now to be obligated to that inmate. Never allow that to happen. Never put yourself in a position to be dependent or reliant on an inmate. As always, guys, the show is On the Line. If you haven't, please subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time we at Guardian RFID post up a video. Stay safe.